The crypto market is looking super volatile right now, and there is a huge amount of important things that you need to know in the crypto market right now, including some big predictions coming out of Michael Burry from The Big Short that we'll talk about in today's video, plus some other extremely important macro things, political things that you have to have on the radar right now in the crypto market. So if you own Bitcoin, XRP, Pepe, Crow, doesn't really matter. Make sure to pay attention to this entire video so you get all that alpha, and it's going to put you in the best position to just know what exactly is going on in the crypto market right now. And also, if you are trading this action, volatility, especially to the south side, remember you can get some really big bonuses over on BYDeFi in the crypto market. You can see our down signal playing out very well right now, and if you deposit and trade with BYDeFi, you can unlock some really big bonuses, up to $2,000 worth of trading bonuses with them. You'll find the link to that in the description of this video. And having said that, let's get straight into the video. So big news to know right now is the crypto market has been volatile. Last 24 hours, last few weeks actually, to be honest with you, have been quite volatile. But in particular, the last 24 hours, we actually flashed another pretty strong down signal right here, and we got pushed from about $103,000 Bitcoin all the way down to 97, nearly. Yes, I think it just did touch maybe 97, maybe just slightly in the last 24 hours. And longs have been getting liquidated in the crypto market, but it is still looking extremely volatile in the short term. Some of the big news, the big catalyst that is driving these breaking prices currently, it has to do with the US stock market. So the US stock market is getting wiped out to some degree, or there has been a big retracement. We've actually seen around 1.2 trillion melted away from the US stock market in the last 24 hours. And we have seen a lot of big money panic sell crypto. I still think crypto will rise again in the future, but this is one big thing that is rattling around in the US stock market. And it's also coupled with a lot of bearish predictions coming out of Michael Burry, who is the person this movie, The Big Short, was based on. And he was the guy who predicted the subprime mortgage crisis. So he is quite bearish, but there is a bit of a twist to this because, he is predicting that, the US stock market, particularly AI companies, are in a bit of a bubble right now. And he's actually making some trades against some of those companies. But having said that, he's actually just shut down his hedge fund company as well, which is pretty interesting. But someone over on X has just pointed out the fact that, Grok, when he started the fund, how much gain had he realized since then? You can actually see right here from this, he's actually lost a lot of money in the last 3 years. So it says Michael Burry relaunched Sion Asset Management in 2013 after closing his original fund in 2008. Exact cumulative gains aren't publicly detailed, but 13F based analysis shows approximately 242% over 10 years, 61% over 5 years, and negative 19% over 3 years as of Q3 2025. And what's actually interesting about this is I've benchmarked his returns against just investing in the S&P 500 and investing in the NASDAQ. And what's interesting is if you just invested into the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ as an index fund, you would actually make more money than Michael Burry over this entire period. So even on the 10-year scale, Sion return 242%, S&P 500 315%, NASDAQ 390%, and in particular, the last one to watch out for is the last 3 years. So he's actually lost 19%, whereas the NASDAQ and S&P 500 have literally went up like nearly 100%, or one's went up 95%, the other one's went up 114%. So what we can actually learn from this, and I think it's important to always try and understand the big picture of what's going on, is yes, look, there could be a crash in the future, and this is kind of a bit similar to Peter Schiff. So if you ever listen to Peter Schiff, he's always saying the crash is coming tomorrow. But truth be told, like when you have a lot of money printing that happens in the world, and this is just, what I've noticed, a lot of it ends up in the stock market overall. So it continues to pile into the stock market. And a lot of these valuations, and this is probably the reason he's shutting down his hedge fund, is they won't actually match the mathematical formula for the share price or what it's supposed to be, right? Because a lot of the money just piles into stocks, and we know that as crypto experts right here on the channel, because look, there's cryptos out there that really don't have fundamentally anything in terms of like a business behind them. And that's one example is Dogecoin, right? So there's a lot of group value behind this, psychological value. And some of that value, we're seeing the same, thing happen in the stock market as well. So you might have the true value of a share, but also there might be this like premium, which is really the group psychology and the group belief in the share as well that, can keep the share price up as well. So Doge, for example, 24.8 billion. So there are some, magical realms of finance that I think Michael Burry, he doesn't really understand. And as a result, he's shutting down because he's losing money right there. But it's an interesting thing just to have on the radar. Maybe we will see a collapse in AI stocks and tech stocks, but at the moment it still seems to be relatively okay, even given 1.2 trillion was wiped off recently. So that is an interesting piece to just have on the radar right now. And having said that, look, crypto has been volatile. We are still seeing somewhat good news flow through in the crypto market. Of course, we're going to get these big waves of liquidations with market makers out there. Bitcoin falling below $99,000. Michael Saylor is now pushing back his price predictions to 2035 right now. So there's no doubt in my mind Bitcoin will be a larger asset class than gold by the year 2035. So that's 10 years away. So yeah, I reckon that's definitely a decent chance. But having said that, that's a long-term hold, 10 years right there coming out of Michael Saylor. XRP ETF now online, which I think is pretty exciting for XRP holders out there. And I do think, look, my point of view about XRP, it's going to remain the same, as in, it's a business cryptocurrency that has to get that adoption and relationships and utilizations by the financial sector. That's what's really going to send the XRP price up over the long term. Even though I think, look, the ETF is great because it's also going to allow people who don't want to have a cold storage wallet, they don't want to have a MetaMask, right? They don't want to get hacked and scammed and phished and all these things that can happen in crypto, right? If you self-custody your own crypto, it's a bit of a pain sometimes, to be honest with you, but there is an ETF behind this. You have to pay a management fee on it. But I think that's really good for XRP right there. So great news coming in for XRP. There's lots of other, decent signals to watch out for. One in particular, look, I have been saying this in a couple of videos, but I do think if Polymarket does launch a crypto associated to it, and they actually do, get the tokenomics right on the project. So they don't screw up the tokenomics, and it's actually, piling in all the demand into the utility and all that important stuff. That could be a huge thing. And they've actually partnered up with the UFC, which I think is huge because a lot of people love UFC. Great partnership right there. And I have to say, look, at the moment, there is still a lot of volatility. And as that volatility rolls through, guess what else rolls through as well? I told you guys this, the gold price. The gold price is climbing back up right now. So gold is going up, and this has been a real important signal in, where, the state of panic in the world, the state of discomfort, the state of, anxiety, financial anxiety, and it's going up again. So definitely something important to have on the radar right there. And you guys know I'm a big fan of gold, silver, diversity in general. And overall, I think just be prepared for volatility, and also just be prepared in the case of bullish news happening as well, because look, there can be some good things coming out of Trump, shut down those bullish factors as well. So as quickly as the crypto market can flip, and get volatile, it can also flip and get bullish super quick as well. So it's like a superstorm some days where it pumps and the next day it dumps. But I do think long term, crypto has plenty of great potential. And if we just, shout out some cryptos today, look, there's going to be volatility. So anytime you see Bitcoin go down 2%, any big moves drop below 100K, a lot of the cryptos will go down. I still think, plenty of great potential long-term right now. XRP down slightly, Ethereum down about 5%, Solana down about 5%, and we got Crow down, just slightly. And what do we else? We got ICP retracing about 8%, and Pepe down about 5%, and Asta down about 3% as well. So a bit of volatility. And, if the crypto prices really do bottom out, again, it's going to be opportunity to research some gems out there in the crypto market. And that's a massive update for the crypto markets for today. Appreciate you guys watching this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Crypto Zeus signing out.